In Mali, we had a long problem of terrorism. Until recently, under the leadership of Colonel Assimi Goïta, we realized that, oh, these terrorists are formed by Emmanuel Macron and her Western allies and SIA. Then we decided to remove their international organizations out of Mali, their embassies out of Mali, their military out of Mali, to break the supply chain of weapons, food, and their other necessary resources to fight us, to destabilize Africa. When we did that, we militarized the army of Mali. We then went to Russia. We came with so many weapons. We went to confront the terrorist, because now we know that the terrorist's mother is no longer in Mali. When we encountered the terrorists there, we taught them a lesson. You know what happened? The United Nations Human Rights Commission raised a red flag with an outcry that we in Mali are abusing human rights. You know the human rights for whom? For their children. Those terrorists that they formed and left there are the people that they're crying of, that we are abusing their human rights. But when they are terrorizing and destabilize Africa every day for the advantage of the West to get cheaper resources and cheaper labor in Africa, they don't complain. They don't say anything. You not hear. Imagine a journalist from Europe. We are looking for terrorists, but a journalist from Europe can come with a camera and go and do a documentary inside a danger zone where there are terrorists. Where did he got the numbers of the terrorists? How does he or she have an access with the terrorists? Their non-governmental organizations are comfortable in the terrorist zone. What are they doing there? They are looking points and points and points and tagging where there are mineral resources and extract, using those terrorists to fund them with those money, destabilizing the people of Africa. Double standards. Imagine those terrorists, if they don't come in Africa armed, they will come as the journalists, as oppositional parties, as the advocates of human rights with their international organizations. If we arrest them on spying on us, you hear the outcry from their masters saying there is a human rights abuse in Africa. But they've kept Julian Assange for a long time after he has exposed them. And they even threatened to bomb ICC if ICC issues a warrant of arrest to any American citizen. Double standards.
The inhabitants of African nations once ruled by taking a stance against their former colonizers, seeking complete independence from them. The question arises, what actions or ongoing practices by France have led to this widespread resentment? Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has long been shedding light on France's alleged wrongdoings, and following the Niger coup, her statements have gained attention. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has consistently expressed her concerns regarding the mistreatment of Africans by France. She has consistently criticized France for its perceived exploitation of the resources within African nations. According to her assertions, France benefits disproportionately from African resources compared to the local populations. Meloni contends that addressing the issue of illegal immigration necessitates putting an end to the exploitation of Africans and allowing them to break free from these exploitative practices.
Questo è un bambino che lavora in una miniera d'oro in Burkina Faso. Il Burkina Faso è una delle nazioni più povere del mondo. Per il Burkina Faso, che ha l'oro, la Francia stampa moneta coloniale. In cambio pretende che finiscano nelle casse del tesoro francese il 50% di tutto quello che il Burkina Faso esporta. L'oro che questo bambino si infila in un cunicolo per tirare fuori finisce per lo più nelle casse dello Stato francese. Allora la soluzione non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa, la soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di...
The solution is not to take the Africans and bring them to Europe. The solution is to free Africa from certain Europeans who exploit it.
Emmanuel Macron ci ha definiti vomitevoli, cynici, irresponsabili E qui la stampa italiana a dire, hai visto che ha detto Macron, che siamo irresponsabili. Vergogna. Irresponsabile Emmanuel Macron sono quelli che hanno bombardato la Libia perché gli dava fastidio che l'Italia avesse un rapporto privilegiato in campo energetico con Gheddafi, esponendoci al caos migrazione nel quale ci troviamo. Cinici Emmanuel Macron sono i francesi che mandano la gendarmerie a rispedire indietro qualunque immigrato tenti di passare il confine a Ventimiglia. Ma soprattutto, perché le cose vanno raccontate come si deve, vomitevole è chi... Bono, che lo vuoi tu? Cioè, mi hai tolto il pathos. Vomitevole è chi, come la Francia, continua a sfruttare l'Africa stampando moneta per 14 nazioni africane sulle quali applica il signoraggio, facendo lavorare bambini nelle miniere, estraendo materie prime come accade in Niger, dove la Francia estrae il 30% dell'uranio che gli serve a far camminare le centrali nucleari e il 90% dei nigerini vive senza elettricità. Non ci venire a fare lezioni, Macron, perché l'Africa scappa da voi e la soluzione non è spostare gli africani in Europa, è liberare l'Africa da certi europei. Non accettiamo lezioni.
This implies that newly independent nations are required to reimburse the expenses incurred by France for constructing infrastructure during the colonial era. Another policy causing significant disagreement involves the appropriation of national financial reserves. Under this arrangement, African countries are mandated to deposit their financial reserves with the Banque de France. Consequently, France has effectively maintained custody over the financial reserves of 14 African countries since 1919. A proposal emerged from 8 West African countries advocating for the withdrawal of their currency reserves from the French central bank. Another substantial point of contention between France and its former colonies revolves around the matter of raw materials and resources. Among these, the Sahel nation stands out as one of the world's significant uranium producers, serving as a major supplier of uranium to the European Union, particularly France. With the crisis intensifying in Niger following the recent coup d'etat, there is a growing sense of apprehension within Europe regarding uranium exports from Niger, a prominent uranium producer globally. It's believed 1 in every 3 light bulbs in France is powered by uranium sourced from Niger, yet nearly 85% of the population remains without access to electricity, effectively maintaining a quasi-monopoly on accessing its natural resources. Since the discovery of uranium in Niger, a substantial portion of the ore has been exclusively exported to France for over 4 decades through Areva, the French state-owned nuclear power company. Surprisingly, this arrangement has led to uranium mining contributing only around 5% of Niger's national gross domestic product. Considering Niger's vital role in supplying raw materials to France at a notably low expense, it might be expected that France would have shown greater commitment to Niger's development. The surge of anti-France sentiments is hardly astonishing, given that the ongoing collaboration and engagement with France have failed to yield any favorable outcomes, instead exacerbating the challenges faced by former French colonies. Do you think France is to blame for Niger's economic situation?
A new era. Macron finds himself cornered thanks to a mountain of challenges staring at him. The Macron versus Maloney exchange has now taken a turn that's just more than indirect jibes. But why are the two even fighting in the first place?
The biggest bone of contention between France and Germany is expected to be the issue of migration. Giorgia Meloni is a staunch anti-migration activist.